everyone. Here we are, episode 12. We have some great first round series to post-mortem, and a lot of things to discuss here. Want to check in on the boys. How are we doing, boys?
Let's play off basketball, baby. We're doing real well.
I'm ready for my game sixes. I wait all year to get game sixes and sevens, and I'm finally getting them.
Got you. All right. Well, let's do our post-mortems. We're recording on the 27th, so the Nets, Hawks, and now Bulls, and probably Denver will be ended by tonight. But I guess it's going in order. The Nets, I was very off, thinking they had it in on this first round. But the team, like you've sort of said, Marko, let's not belabor it too much. The media had a frenzy on them, but anything we want to get in before we?
Can I ask you guys a question?
Sure, please do.
Who would you rather pay $200 million this summer? Kyrie Irving or James Harden? These are your only
irrespective of the team situation, or just as players?
Irrespective of the team, but you can't do anything else. You have to pick one of the two of them. Either you pick Kyrie, who's played, I think it was like 105 games in 3 years, or you pick James Harden, who is 33, and give him $50 million a year.
That is
for the next 4 years.
Like 60 when he's 37.
Yeah. So these are your two options.
Do you want to go first, Eric? Or do you want me to?
Oh my God. Something in the back of my head is telling me to go with James Harden, just with like everything that happened with Kyrie this year. But like, if I could get a guarantee that Kyrie plays, I know then I can't, like, in good faith, give him that money, because I honestly think the money has empowered Kyrie to act this way, to say these crazy things. Like he said in the post-game press conference, he said he wants to manage the team with KD and management.
He's a GM. He's a co-GM.
That's only a guy who knows he has max value, who has been paid like a max player, would say something like that. But I'm not saying James Harden based on talent. I'm just saying that in terms of, honestly, I probably would just take any player, not Kyrie. So
I understand that.
Really a shame though, because
neither of them, I don't think you could sign and trade them like meaningfully. Like no one else is going to be like, oh, I'll take your problem.
Right. Yeah, I'm not sure anybody. First of all,
the Lakers would for Kyrie. The Lakers would take Kyrie.
Okay. The Lakers would probably trade Westbrook for James Harden, honestly.
Yeah.
If that was like presented to them. I'm gonna go with there's no good answer. I'm gonna go with like Kyrie.
I also was thinking Kyrie. Just like his athleticism is still there enough.
Yeah.
I would. I mean, I know there's no caveats, but I would like to get him to see a therapist or something, like as part of the contract. But both of those. But I don't want to be either of those. Front offices this offseason. That's very unfortunate.
So I bring that question up because they're both probably going to get paid $200 million this summer. So
I'd rather pay Patty Mills $200 than pay Kyrie Irving $200 million, honestly.
Well, I'd rather
200 or 200 million.
Yeah, wait, what?
I'd pay Patty Mills $200 million over Kyrie.
Okay.
He's a good
200 mil for being a good dude.
He's a real good dude.
Okay. Well, anyway, the Nets, the media did it to death.
I mean, okay, probably not, but would the Nets have like been a lot better if Joe Harris was available?
a
Not
good
the way
amount.
he was playing.
A good, but the thing is that like they need defense. I mean, Joe Harris can play defense. He's not like a primary defender, but he
No.
can play defense.
No, yeah.
And just like another shooter. I mean, another shooter, like an elite shooter, is always helpful. But the issue is
the
like
Nets aren't much on defense to begin with, but so it's like
Yeah.
how much
They
fun-
had stretches though during
yeah.
the season where they were ranked at the top of like 3-point defense. So
mhm.
Really.
I think that was
But
before
isn't-
Kyrie was playing though.
Isn't the issue with their bigs though? Because like
Yeah.
Andre
Claxton,
Drummond
oh my God.
Claxton missed 10 straight free throws, and Andre Drummond kind of got played off the floor. And then you had to sub in because you were so lacking on size, like you had to sub in the resuscitated corpse of Blake Griffin to fill some minutes. Yeah, I mean he gave
I think I'd rather Max
it his all.
No,
He
I'd rather
gave it
Max
his all
than
for
Harden.
sure. What's
He
up?
did give it. I'd rather Max him than Harden. No, I wouldn't.
He
No, I
did give it his all.
wouldn't.
He gave it his all. But
I like, yeah, if you could put his like will in either of those guys, it's an easy choice.
mhm. But I don't know, like can you even bring Claxton back? How do you play Claxton and Ben Simmons at the same time?
What's his contract like? Oh, yeah, we haven't even like
Claxton is
talked
like
about Ben Simmons yet.
Nick Claxton's. So this was interesting. He's like the only player on the roster that's been actually drafted by the Brooklyn Nets.
That's true, but what I'm saying is like, how do you? I think he's a free agent now, or like a restricted free agent. Like, how do you even pay him? Being like, I don't know if I can keep him on the floor in the playoffs. Like, he'll just get fouled. And you got Ben Simmons at the same time. That gives you two non-shooters if you're gonna play him at the same time.
I think Nick Claxton. He's not like the youngest like player, but he's still relatively young. I think it definitely was if you look at his short career numbers, he's not a great free throw shooter, although he did improve this year, 58%, which is not very good at all. But
what was
maybe
Giannis in his third year?
Maybe he improves. I don't know.
I don't know if we should compare it to Giannis, because Giannis is like literally one of the biggest improvers in NBA history.
True.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you could literally give Giannis like multiple most improved players.
Yeah.
He does have one, but like he could have won it more than once.
He could have, yeah.
I mean, but the pressure clearly got to Claxton, and he's also not like a super valuable player like Simmons or Giannis would be, right?
Mhm.
So like I don't know what they do. I don't know what they do about their bigs. Seth Curry, I feel like will probably get paid by somebody else. Patty Mills.
Seth Curry.
What's up?
Seth Curry is also up.
Yeah. Patty Mills, I think is not up, but like you have to play him less minutes next year because he like really started to slow down.
Yeah.
The minute load I think was a little too much for him. So I don't know. I feel like we'll be talking about them all summer. But Boston was just better.
No, they were. Yeah, this is what gets lost in all of this. They were just like a very impressive defensive team, and they like finally like have like a rhythm with each other. Like they like really care about like the team dynamic, and I think they really like the coach. Not say they didn't like the old coach, but I think they like really are buying in. There's a lot of buy-in.
I think something else that was the most impressive, and we've seen certain teams in the playoffs not be able to do, is close, because the margins of victory in each of the games was pretty close. There wasn't like a blowout in this series, and that's really encouraging to see like a team with a first-year head coach with relatively young players like close games against a team that has Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving on, who are seasoned veterans, although the pieces are not there.
Yes.
I think that'll be really valuable to them, like moving forward.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Do we want to post-mortem the Hawks?
Let's do it.
I got a little hot take for you. Hawk take.
Okay, give me the hot take. There we go.
Okay. I am not calling. Is there truth to the argument that the Hawks doubled down on a team that they maybe should not have doubled down
Oh yeah.
last offseason?
I mean,
Oh, I see.
yeah. If the six, I mean, if Simmons hits that layup, yeah, probably they.
Well, who'd they play in the first round? Just to recap
The
last
Knicks.
year.
The Knicks.
The
They
Knicks.
won
Oh, that's
4-1.
right.
They gave the Knicks 5 games.
Yeah, which
Shoot
is a
them
bit
out
of
of
a
there.
fraudulent team, obviously.
Then-
you know.
They went 7 with the Sixers. They upset
Mhm.
the Sixers.
Mhm.
And people are like, very impressive. I thought that was very impressive. I have no qualms with calling that very impressive. Then I believe they went 6 games with the Bucks.
Yeah.
One of which I think Giannis was injured in, right? One of their 2 wins, Giannis was injured in. The other one being a game, I'm pretty sure a game 2 win in Milwaukee, where the one where Trae Young went like crazy shooting. But like, you can make the argument that over the last 2 years, they have gone in on some like veteran players, Bogdanovic, Gallinari, stuff like that. Okay, that's fine. And then they extended Herter, extended Collins. It didn't really make any changes. Can you make the argument that they doubled down on a bit of a, and obviously they started the season really poorly. Part of that was like, I feel like was their stated attitude going in, where they were like,
Yes.
I can only get up for playoff games now, and then almost
Yeah.
didn't make the playoffs. It came down to like the play-ins.
That was embarrassing.
Yeah. So can you make the argument, I kind of feel like I just did, that maybe they shouldn't have doubled down on this team just because they went to the Eastern Conference Finals?
Yeah, no, I think
Maybe-
that they need to. Well, they need to like, they have too many players. They need to consolidate the rotation. I think it's the other thing. Like, let's look at their roster.
This team also is just not constructed to make up for a poor shooting night, especially from Trae.
Mhm.
Or the defense.
I'm pulling up their numbers from last season with their what's it called? Their defensive ratings and all that stuff. So last year they were, where the heck are they? Atlanta. They were like middle of the pack, like lower end, middle of the pack on like points per game
On offense or defense?
on defensively.
Yeah, but I think they started really bad, and then once Nate McMillan got in charge, they like turned it around a lot, right?
Last year,
So-
yes.
Yes. So like an average might not be like super accurate. You know what I mean? Because it doesn't take into account the coaching change. So I feel like they were probably a little better than middle of the pack, right? Probably one of the higher ones after McMillan got in charge.
And then, well, then this year they were
Pretty bad for most of the year.
they were 20th.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's like almost bottom third, middle, like the literal bottom of the middle third.
Right.
And like I said, they picked it up towards the end of the year. It started worse than
The
that.
start was very bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like you got Herter extended, you got Collins extended. Bogdanovic gave him a lot, I feel like, in this series at least. DeLon Wright, I really like for them. As Will said, I think like a consolidation here is probably necessary. I think this is one of the potential Gobert destinations in the summer.
Oh,
That's
I'd
what I've
love
been
that.
talking about.
I would love.
I think Trae Young would, not just actually pass to him, but he's kind of the lob king, and that's what Rudy does best, is like catch lobs. And I also kind of think that Capella is like a natural replacement for Rudy in Utah. So kind of no harm done there if he's part of the package that goes back. So that could probably really improve them, get them out of that bottom middle on defense, and maybe they retain some of that shooting.
Oh yeah,
And they could be dangerous next year. But
that's a great call.
kind of
I could see that happening. I wish you could bet on that.
maybe you can. Maybe there'll be like a what's a Gobert's next team prop.
Right.
If it comes out like plus 500 or better on Atlanta, then I gotta consider it. Yeah. If Atlanta is like plus 170 though, I probably wouldn't do it. Like
right.
Trey was awful this series.
He was bad. You could see this coming. You could see this coming because the style of, first of all, he didn't score a lot against the Hornets in the play-in game because they play the same kind of defense as the Hawks do, where they get the ball out of his hand and blitz him. And then in every regular season game against the Heat, he didn't have a good time either. So, it's not really a big surprise that he struggled so much. He's got to figure this defense out, or they got to do something to figure that defense out.
He turned the ball over 30 times.
More than
the 5 games that they played. He was 18% from 3 the entire series. 18.
Oh, gosh.
Ice Trey.
That's so bad.
That talk about doubling down. I mean, I know it's just a series, but I mean
that's worse than I thought.
Marco's
I'm
face.
not gonna lie.
Marco's face.
You averaged 15, 6, and 5. That's that.
Oh boy.
That's not a playoff team.
No, it's not.
Yeah, I mean, the Heat defense did a really good job on him, but also like that's just not that good. You got to figure that out a little bit better.
And,
I can't lie, like I could have paid more attention to figure out what exactly I thought that they should be doing, but I was pretty sure the Hawks were cooked. So, wasn't really any point trying to think of a solution that they could make.
No, Miami had that. Do we want to move on to the Bulls?
Sure.
Yeah. Before we do that, though, I just want to say, I'm really disappointed at how the season progressed for the Bulls. I was really excited to watch them do well to start. I have a bad feeling that this is going to be kind of what we're like, similar to what we saw with the Hawks, where like they might double down on this team and it might not be as good at all at any point.
Allen ended their season.
He hooped for sure.
But you never, we didn't get to see Patrick Williams for most of the season, and you had that freak injury with Caruso with I think he broke his wrist, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
Those Duke players, man.
They dealt with COVID. I know during the season, a lot of the players, there was like a little outbreak. So
I swear this is like the 4th time Zach LaVine has had COVID. And I'm pretty sure he is vaccinated, but like that is such a bad break of luck. Oh my gosh. Not that they were gonna like win this. I'm pretty sure they would have gotten smacked in this game with or without Zach LaVine. But like the 4th time having COVID, that is nasty. That's just so unfortunate.
That really does stink.
Yeah. I hope he feels better. But
it's a shame
he's our UCLA brother.
Yes, he is. So is Lonzo, who
I know, and he can't stay healthy. I don't know what to do about him. I really like him when he's on the floor. Like he's a nice player. What?
I do think the point about them possibly doubling down is a good one, or maybe they should think about not doing that. I mean, you could make an argument either way because they were really good at the beginning of the year. But when it came down to it, I don't even feel like it's like Grayson Allen shot the balls. He scored super well. It wasn't even just shooting; like he was getting in the paint and doing stuff. But the Bucks defense ended the Bulls season, in my opinion. If you look at it, I saw something that like if you take out Game 2, the Bulls had like an offensive rating of about 80.
Yeah. I mean,
if you just take out game two, they had a really great offensive game. If you take out game two, they had like an offensive rating of 80 something. So in the 80s for points per 100 possessions, and that's just not going to get you anything. Zach LaVine is playing on a hurt knee, and also Zach LaVine is your best player. And I don't know, the offense, when they had Lonzo, it was better, but the offense needs to run less through DeRozan, in my opinion.
yeah.
Because now you got your best player is not the number one offensive option. I know that he's playing on a hurt knee, but Lonzo as a connector and like a playmaker would bring some of that correct order back, in my opinion.
Yeah, definitely. He's
Also very interesting that the person that took the most threes for the Bulls this series was Vucevic.
Yeah, you know what? They people talked about it all year that Vucevic would be like really bad in the playoffs. And I kind of feel like I'm not going to say that he like proved everybody wrong, cuz like they overall were still bad. But he did not play the worst. He had a decent series, I think. And kind of made the case that like no, he is not just like cooked in the playoffs or whatever.
He was like okay. I mean, for like a guy his size, you ideally don't want the person taking the most threes on your team shooting 30% flat from three, but it's not 18%. Like Giannis was 16.7% from three in the series. So
not that you need that's like 1 for 6.
Yeah. Yeah.
So like
so no, I mean I think the Bulls are just like, there's always like a few of those teams in the NBA where you're like, oh, that's like a good team, but you're like, they'll never like go deep or like make a finals. They're just like a good, like maybe are they the Utah Jazz of the East?
they weren't that good they weren't good enough in the regular season, I feel like. Because think about it, the
They were
Jazz
going to be, but they trailed off.
Yeah. The Jazz like ended 2 seasons as like a home court advantage team. Like ended 1 season as the 1 seed. You know what I mean? Like the Bulls, I mean, they dropped all the way down to 6th. They were really in danger of getting into the play-in. Like kind of feel like they're like the Nuggets of the East.
Yeah. I think there's a lot of mouths to feed, a lot of names on the team. But I could see them being the Jazz in a couple of years after they top 3 seed.
I mean, Patrick Williams was a great pick for them, like a solid pick. I think he was the 4th pick like 2 years ago.
He was, yeah. Florida State, they've been making some really good NBA talent lately.
Yeah, so they're not going to have a pick like that anywhere near 4, but that's a solid piece, and I think
I don't know if they have any picks. I don't think they have any picks anymore.
Or I think they gave the 1st round pick to Vucevic, and I think that's it. I don't think did they give more than 1 first round pick?
They gave 2 to Orlando. One of them became Franz Wagner. Okay, so that's pretty bad to start. They gave more for DeRozan. I believe they gave 1. Did they give 1 or get 1 in the Markkanen deal? I can't remember.
Can't remember either.
That 3-team deal, they did something with that. There was a pick involved there. So they've definitely traded some. They traded at least 1 in the DeRozan deal. So I'm not sure that they have many at the moment.
Yeah, probably not. Well, at least they're not the Lakers, so
true. Maybe they have theirs this year. We'll have to see.
Sorry, William.
It's okay. They're bad. Denver's keeping it close enough. I don't know if we need to. Do we want to prematurely post-mortem them or?
I mean, not.
I don't imagine they're going to win 3 straight, but.
No, I mean, like, what is there to say? Like, I hope that the front office for Denver doesn't this offseason just go, we'll get these 2 guys back and be good now. Like, I hope they actually do stuff, because there was stuff to learn this season. Yeah. But at the end of the day, it's like, what did you learn from this season? Is like, Jokic is awesome, and get him some players. Jamal Murray, Michael Porter Jr. I think their number one priority in the offseason should be a defensive player to fill out that starting lineup. And also, Bones Highland is awesome. That's what they learned this year.
Don't forget about my man though.
Who's your man?
Campazzo.
He should not have been on an NBA roster this year.
What do you mean, man?
I'm not joking. I can't believe Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum were so bad defensively in that backcourt in that series. They made Campazzo and Austin Rivers look that good. That's incredible. I seriously can't believe it.
Who's the Lakers player that said he's gonna it's on site when he sees Campazzo?
Reeves?
What's it, Matthew? No,
not Reeves.
Matthews.
Oh,
Wayne Ellington. It was Wayne Ellington.
Wayne Ellington or John Stanley Johnson.
No, it was Wayne Ellington.
Yeah.
which is even weirder because he's like 35 or something.
Hey, man. It's on site though.
This man is pushing 40, telling people it's on site with
That was dirty play, man.
Energy.
I don't know. Oh, yeah, it probably was, but like the season is also over. So,
that's great.
But I mean, that'll be an exciting team next year. It's really like this would have been a hell of a series if we could have Michael Porter Jr. and Jamal Murray.
Yeah. I mean, it would have been a way better season.
I think
the 10 games they got in with those four guys, Jamal Murray, MPJ, Aaron Gordon, and Jokic last year, they whooped team. They destroyed. Teams. They destroyed for like 10 games. They destroyed everybody, and then the Jamal Murray injury happened. So hopefully next year they do something. Hopefully they get him a little more perimeter defense because people misunderstand when you see your bigs. Everybody knows that bigs can't really guard guards that well. Okay, so when you see Jokic struggle to keep up with Steph Curry, or like another big struggle to keep up with a Gobert struggle to keep up with like Jalen Brunson or something like that, this is a failure on your perimeter defense because this isn't. He's never supposed to get there to begin with. You know what I mean? You're not supposed to get that switch to begin with, unless it's like an emergency. You know what I mean? So that kind of stuff is failure in the perimeter defense. I mean, Michael Porter Jr. is not a good defender. Jamal Murray will at least try hard, and he was actually good in his last year, but he will be coming off an injury. Aaron Gordon is a really good defender, but they need more perimeter defense if they want to stop guards from just going at Jokic, because that puts a big guy into a bad spot, and it will get picked at in the playoffs, and you just don't want that to happen.
Absolutely. Okay, I think we might have handled that. Let's turn the floor over to Marko, who I think probably had a very nice poor memory yesterday.
Okay,
was there.
I guess I'll just kind of recount to you guys the situation. Okay. So first of all, we're 2-0 when your boy Marko of the B+Ball boys.
You're the good luck charm.
Yeah. 2-0 in this series. When I make it there, I made it for game 2 and game 4, which were both on a Tuesday night as well. So I don't know, maybe that has something to do with it. That's also why the tickets were a little cheaper, I think, for me to get in. But rather than game 1, which was game 1 and on a Saturday like afternoon on Beale Street, is like there was no way I could get in there. But anyway, there's like the whole crowd is like kind of late because like on all the main streets in Memphis there was like a bunch of traffic accidents. So like the crowd, I kind of feel like filed in late. And, you know, it's like a battle of a first quarter. And then we start to get down and, you know, people like, there's just no run for us to get energy in. And the whole game, the first 3 quarters, I'm like, Jai is making all the right plays. Like he has 9 assists. Like they're forcing the ball out of his hands by design. And he's making the passes and like a lot of that is really good. Like it's resulting in dunks and open threes. And we're just missing the open threes. We're 3 for 21 on 3 at this point, and they're just all really good looks, but they're missing. I'm like, look, like he's making all the right plays, but I'm like if you asked me like if he had a bad game up to that point, I would have been like, he missed some free throws, but he has played the right basketball at that point, right? And if you want to be like a superstar, like I guess you just got to take over, right? And end of the third quarter, I'm now sitting in the second half. I'm behind the basket that the Grizzlies are scoring on in the second half. Okay. So where all the excitement ends up happening, you know, end of the third quarter, he, drives down the lane and throws down that absolutely nasty dunk on Malik Beasley. Now, you probably would expect normally like a better reaction from the crowd, but I think the whole crowd was like weird. That cut the lead to 11. And that took us from like no life in the crowd to like back into the game. You know what I mean? So like it definitely got the crowd back involved. It got him going and stuff like that. And first of all, I do want to say I don't think Ja Morant sat for the entire second half. I think he played every minute. And after like a not so great first 3 quarters where you're like he's playing good basketball and stuff like that, he scores 18 in the fourth, goes 9 for 10 from the floor, hits a clutch 3-pointer to put us up 2 with a minute left, and then obviously the game winner, the game-winning layup. And I will say that like as the score got closer and closer, you kind of felt like that the crowd is just like getting ready to go crazy. There was a Brandon Clark putback to Brandon Clark monster game. There was a putback, he had to cut it to 1 that like I kind of felt like that's when like the crowd like exploded when he put it back and cut it to 1. And then a little bit later he tips out missed Tyus Jones 3 right into Ja's hand, and he hits a 3. And that's like it just like exploded in there. And I'm sure you saw the game. You've probably seen all the clips. Like Anthony Edwards, he's all the way on the far side, and I see him like hit this like fading to the corner 3 off like a really good play design. Although I couldn't really see the play that well until later. And next thing is Ja Morant flying towards us, like hanging in the air, like holding the ball all the way out, and then to let Vanderbilt contest, and then rolls it in with his left. I'm still tired from cheering that moment. I'm still like I'm gassed still a day later. And I had lost my voice temporarily. So just so you know, and it is like a Memphis thing. Whoop That Trick, I'm sure you guys know that song that is played in the Memphis arena when they're winning big games. That was played after the final horn goes off, and Cat is walking by to the locker room, and it kind of felt like everybody was directing this Whoop That Trick chant right at him. You know what I mean?
Right.
We'll see them for game 6, which I'm not gonna say that I'm not like so confident they're gonna win or whatever, but I definitely don't feel like they're ever out of the game against this Timberwolves team.
Yeah.
So we'll have to see how it goes. We just shoot a little bit better and make our free throws, and that game is a blowout. So we'll see.
Okay.
Eric, I know you wanted to go off on the Grizzlies.
Let's let Eric converse. Counter.
They're not playing as well as you'd think for a 2 seed going against the 7 seed. I think the thing we've identified watching them like this season is they're not a good free throw shooting team. And that's going to hurt moving later on in the playoffs. Desmond Bain is playing out of his mind. He's doing a really good job, but if you look at the series with going back to the free throws, the top 3 free throw shooters in terms of attempts are John Morant, Brandon Clark, Dylan Brooks, and respectively they're shooting 70%, 60%, and 66% from the free throw line.
Although this last game definitely I feel like brought down Ja's number here. Because he missed 5 free throws in the first half and goes 9 for 10 in the fourth quarter. You know what I mean? And I'm telling you, this guy is holding his knees between every free throw. Like he's absolutely gassed and goes 9 for 10 from the line. But I'm not gonna. Sorry, go ahead. I didn't.
Oh no. I'm worried. I think they're gonna win. I said Memphis in 6. I think that they can close it out. When's the game tomorrow?
Yeah.
It's on Friday. It's on Friday.
They'll close it out.
Which is good because I'm telling you, man, I need another day off, man.
They'll close it out. I think they'll close it out on Friday. But I think what's even more concerning is I was telling Will this before you hopped on, Marco, but there are just plays you watch the Timberwolves make and you're just like, what the hell are you doing? Like going up, 2 players on the Timberwolves going up for the same rebound, tipping it, going to the Grizzlies, errant passes, just like trying to pass down like in traffic, like I've D'Angelo Russell and Anthony Edwards like throwing passes in traffic that just no one is there. But yet it doesn't feel like, you know what I feel like with how many errors this team makes, the Timberwolves, it should be more of a more of like a beatdown, because the Grizzlies really should make him pay. I think there have been moments where they do, but like the whole thing about like going down 20 plus, I think they went down 20 plus like 2 times, right?
In game 3, they were down 26 in the first half, cut it to 7, went back down like 23, and then came back and won on an insane end of third to fourth quarter run of like 52 to like 19 or something like that. You know,
I'm concerned that if they let a team get hot like the Warriors, I think it'll be harder to make a comeback, because that's a team that I think is, I mean, I don't know what the hell is wrong with it. The Timberwolves have like a 3-1 lead mentality, and then they just blow it. They got like a Doc Rivers mentality going in the fourth quarter. No shade, but I think it's you know what? I will give the Grizzlies the benefit of the doubt. I think, you know, there's a young team. They're trying to find their footing. Doc Rivers, not to speak poorly of the man, but he did bring up how he like I think it was 2004 when he was like coaching the Magic and they were up 3-1 against the Pistons.
Yeah, I saw this quote. I think it's 2003 because the Pistons go on to win the title.
Yeah,
right?
But it's not about that. Me bringing that up is not about the Magic. It's about the Pistons. Like, that's really bad that the Pistons went down 3-1 against the Magic, but then they came back and then they eventually won the championship. So maybe it's a situation like that where like they play in a series, they're not playing all that well, and then the next series they find their footing. But I think the free throws is going to carry over. Not going to become a great free throw shooting team overnight. So
they're also not a good 3-point shooting team. Like a couple of these games have been really bad. I think they went like 7 for 28 in this game. But the thing is, if you think about it, like, what is the sign of a good team? Is like nothing is going your way, and they still found a way to claw that win out. Brandon Clark had 7 offensive rebounds in the fourth quarter alone.
Wow.
Like they really just like found their way back in somehow, like made like just the timely threes. There was one in by Dylan Brooks in the fourth quarter who hadn't made a shot all night, and obviously one by John Morant, like with about a minute left. That like they're just the timely threes, the offensive rebounds, the forcing turnovers. Like we talk about the Wolves making like mistakes and throwing passes and stuff like that. But the Grizzlies are really good at forcing that kind of thing.
Mhm.
Okay, but can I respond to this a little bit? Like,
Yeah.
if I was not a Grizzlies fan, I probably would have like bet on the Timberwolves to upset the Grizzlies because they were really heavy underdogs, where they have like a really good matchup in terms of play style. The Grizzlies come from that like Bucks-ish system of like allowing 3-pointers and stuff like that, right? And the Timberwolves were the best 3-point shooting team in the league, where the Grizzlies normally take advantage of like rebounds, mainly using Steven Adams. You know, Cat plays Steven Adams off the floor. Where the Grizzlies usually have Ja Morant going downhill. The Wolves pretty uniquely play this style of basketball that puts 2 up super high and prevents the drive to a pretty extreme extent. You know, this is ways that the Wolves are like uniquely built to be a bad matchup for the Grizzlies. Now, I think that the Grizzlies are the better team, but normally we say like the playoffs are about matchups. Like I definitely would have given the Timberwolves a fair upset shot before the season if I was a neutral fan. And I'm not super surprised that the Grizzlies have not played their best basketball against them, because I feel like the Wolves are pretty uniquely like geared to stop the Grizzlies. You know,
Yeah.
the Warriors on the other hand, people are talking about like it's gonna be a sweep no matter whether it's the Grizzlies or the Warriors. The Warriors are gonna be in the opposite situation against the Grizzlies, because the Grizzlies are actually a really good matchup against the Warriors. So, I mean, we can talk about that if that matchup happens, but a lot of the things that I'm talking about that make like the Wolves a really poor matchup for the Grizzlies are actually what makes the Grizzlies a really good matchup against the Warriors. So, I just need them to get out of this series. Game 6, you know what? Maybe I'm biased, but I just kind of feel like this is the game that we get some shooting luck and a good start early, and are able to finish it off, because the shooting is bound to regress at some point. Like they're not a good shooting team, but shooting 20 and 25% in multiple games is bad.
Yeah.
And should turn around.
Hopefully we see that.
I will say this about, it's been really nice to see the Timberwolves, like especially last game. I noticed 3 players for the Timberwolves that played pretty well, especially in their role. So Naz Reid was making a lot of good plays.
Yeah.
Taurean Prince and Malik Beasley. Like those,
Bro,
they were
Jordan McLaughlin.
Yeah.
Don't forget Jordan McLaughlin.
But I remember I was watching Taurean, especially Taurean Prince and Naz Reid. They had a couple like nice plays. I'm like, oh, those are solid plays. Like it'll be really, I really hope Anthony Edwards, regardless of what happens in the series, he takes a big leap. And even like he already took a big, nice first like step coming into this year. And so hopefully next year he can. I think I heard someone say and I think this is true. He kind of feels like he can't make a lot of plays without the ball.
Mm-hmm.
He's very ball dominant. So I don't know how I'll be able to fix that, but I hope he can get the team more involved.
Let me ask you guys a question. This just came to mind, and I know we should probably get to the next game 6, but like, does it feel to you like the Wolves are kind of preoccupied with like responding to the Grizzlies, like kind of trash talk or stuff like that, rather than like finishing the game? Because in the fourth quarter last game, Patrick Beverley gave Ja Morant the too small sign with like 3 minutes left, and Ja scored 10 points after that and won the game and fouled Beverly out. You have Cat going like, we in Minnesota now, kind of feeling like, probably like Ja said a lot of stuff after game 2. You know what I mean? And even after game 1 with like the Last Dance video, stuff like that. Like, I kind of feel like they're like, trying to like match the Grizzlies' energy, maybe rather than just like be themselves. You know what I mean? I'm not even saying that like that. I'm not even saying this from like a fan. Well, maybe I am saying it from a fan perspective. You don't have to be like the Grizzlies type of energy to do well. You have to be like the energy you've cultivated as a team. And this like cat like rah rah type act, you know what I mean? Like Pat Beverly is gonna do what he does and stuff like that, but all that I kind of feel like is not them. You know what I mean? I don't know. Is there anything there?
I think you're right. They're kind of playing, Memphis's game. But yeah, I just feel like Cat has a bad history with trash talking. So I don't know why he hasn't stopped.
Oh yeah, he shushed the crowd and lost the game.
Yeah.
He shushed the crowd with 9 minutes left and lost the game.
I think I honestly don't like it from either team, mainly because I think you're exactly right about Minnesota, but with Memphis, what have they done yet?
Maybe I'm fan pilled here. Okay. Yeah, but my argument is like it doesn't matter what they've done. If you don't like it, just beat them. You know what I mean? So like in fact, use it as motivation all year. If I'm like the Warriors and I got trash talked, I think the Warriors lost the season series against the Grizzlies 3-1. You heard the entire Memphis crowd like boo Andre Iguodala. You heard like probably a lot of talk from like Dylan Brooks and stuff like that, right? Like use that as fire and beat the Grizzlies. And if you beat them, more power to you. I will accept as a fan of the team that trash talks this much. I will accept the talk that comes my way. You know what I mean? But you have to beat them, right? Like it's not about what you've done. It's about what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? I just kind of I kind of feel like it's a little like let me put this in a PG-13 way. It's like it's deriding to be like, well, this guy has rings, so he's allowed to talk. Well, this guy is 22, so he can't talk. Dude, beat him. Like you know what I mean? Like beat him at basketball. Like this year. You know what I mean? The Warriors won rings while Ja was at high school in Murray State. Like it wasn't he wasn't around for all that. Though Ja wasn't in the league the last time Klay Thompson played a game before this season. You know what I mean?
That's
like beat him this year. And then you get to talk. And I will have to shut up. I'll have to that's what makes me so involved as a fan, I feel like, is like when my Grizzlies win, I talk so much trash. You know what I mean? And when they lose, it gets talked right back to me. And it hurts. And it hurts. And it makes me want them to win even more. But like I don't like buy into this whole like, oh, like it's arrogance or whatever like that. Because this is how they fuel themselves, right?
Yeah.
They don't want to lose and then get that trash talk back to them. Just like I don't want them to lose and get trash talk to me. Like this is the way these guys grew up. They trash talk every moment of their life. Like they're not changing anything about like who they are to act like this. It's not fake. It's like true to them and it motivates them. So I don't know. That's just me watching them all year. Obviously you can disagree. You cannot like it from the Grizzlies, but that's just my little explanation. You know.
It's fair. I do like the rebuttal. I see your point.
Thank you.
Okay, Nick Nurse. This past weekend, I really liked this comment. He goes, well, somebody's got to do it. A reporter was asking him about being in an 0-3 hole. He goes, and if it gets to 3-1, it's not 3-0 anymore. And 3-1 has been done, has been accomplished. Now they're sitting at 3-2, only 1.5 dogs at home tomorrow. I mean, I feel like we jumped off the Raptors in 7 pick, but it's, still very much alive at this point, I think. How do you guys feel about this?
Eric, you want to go first? I just talked a lot.
How do I feel about the quote? I think
Yeah, and where the
yeah. So the quote, I mean, it's not like you guys remember the clip, the reporter asked Chris Paul, he's like, "Hey Chris, you think the Clippers will be back here for a game 7?" Like stuff like that. And the Chris was like, "What?" So I think in terms of Nick Nurse's comments, it's like I think it's a good way of rallying the team in terms of coming back and winning it 4-3 the series. Well, they're halfway down,
Yeah, halfway there.
and if anyone, we talked about, when the Lakers fired Frank Vogel, how lucky they would be to get Nick Nurse. He's definitely one of the top coaches in the league. So if anyone's up to the challenge, I think he is. So, so we had game 6 is going to be in Toronto.
Yes.
And this
tomorrow.
This is without who's the guy that can't play?
Probably Fred VanVleet can't play, and Matisse Thybulle. Well, VanVleet can't play because he's injured.
Yeah.
Thybulle can't play because he's unvaccinated.
Mm-hmm.
He can't enter the country. Canada.
As much as I want to pick the Raptors, I probably, I'll probably go with the Sixers on this one. I think Fred VanVleet is
key.
That guy.
All right, fair. I just think it's like the odds reset every time, right? Like this is the gambler's fallacy. Like, you think like heads to not come up 4 times in a row, but like it's really not that different than it coming up. Like now that it's come up 2 times in a row, like it just has to come up 2 times in a row. Like, I mean, if you assume it's like a coin flip, like, which is a big assumption, I know, but like now it's like 1 in 4 roughly as an approximation, which is much better than 1 in 16. So
I mean, right now the Raptors are a 1.5 point dog, so it's all they're saying it's almost like a coin flip.
Yeah. So I mean, we'll see.
I think the quote from Nurse, that's like about as good as you can do when you're down 0-3. Like that's the best thing you can possibly say. There's not a lot you can say. That's like the best thing you can possibly say. What Doc Rivers did today was so much
bad.
my guy, Dr. Rivers.
Dr. Rivers.
Dr. Rivers. He spends a minute talking about his past series shortcomings. Meantime, I'm thinking like, dude, win the game and you never have to bring this up even.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, not even those past games. Like, nobody will bring up you blowing your lead if you win game 5 or game 4 or game 6 or game 7. People won't talk about you blowing a lead if you don't blow it. You know what I mean? And also at the same press conference, you have Danny Green talking about like now it's like now or never, like we got to suit up and stuff like that, and it just comes off as so unconfident.
Yeah, it's a bit defeatist. Like if it gets to a game 7,
it's just like I think the Sixers are gonna come out with a lot of effort in game 6, in desperation. But if they manage to lose that game, like they just don't. I like the Grizzlies. Like I don't want to compare them directly, but the Grizzlies, you see them get down and they don't give up, right? I feel like the Raptors could throw like a knockout punch on the Sixers by going up a lot early, or even just by winning game 6, and it would be like it was just so strange. That Sixers press conference today was so strange. I actually don't feel super vindicated. I don't even feel like I jumped off the Raptors bandwagon last time we recorded. They were down to 0-3, and I said, I don't really feel bad about that pick. It didn't really go my way, but I thought Scotty Barnes was really important. he comes back and they win 2 games. Fred VanVleet is hurt and they still win those 2 games. I think this is like really bad matchup for Fred VanVleet, and it probably just benefits them to have like another 6'9" guy out there, like Thad Young or Precious or whoever plays. So honestly, like their scoring, their offense hasn't been super bad. So without him, so I don't think that missing VanVleet here is too big of a deal. I could be proven wrong on that count, but whatever happens, I feel like the Raptors are gonna fight tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, I think it'll be close. I mean, I don't know if I'm just gonna bet on the Raptors straight money line. Yeah.
I had like from before the series, I had money on the Raptors to win the series. And then when they went down 0-3 and news came out about Embiid's thumb, that's when I put more on it. I think. Or 3-1. 3-1 and news came out about Embiid's thumb. I put a little more on it just because I was like, oh, his thumb is hurt. This is kind of like the situation that would allow history to be made. So let me ask you guys a question. If the Raptors win Game 6, do they win the series?
Yeah. Yes.
They make history?
I think the Raptors make history. Nick Nurse, that guy.
I don't know, dude. You think that they'll let that happen? Philadelphia would let that happen on their own.
I think Doc Rivers is trying not to.
Like not Philadelphia, the team, the city.
Didn't they do that last year though?
Yeah,
they played Game 7 on their home court and lost.
But like, they didn't blow a 3-1 lead.
They blew a 3-2 lead, I think.
Yeah, I think you're right about
didn't
that.
Didn't they?
Oh, gosh.
Yeah.
Well, oh man, I can't say it in good conscience, man. I don't know. I'm gonna say no.
You're gonna say no?
I'm gonna say
I'm not as confident as some people are in this, but I'm gonna say yes if they win Game 6. Just because of that press conference, it just put me off. I just don't really believe in their mental state. And I kind of feel like the Nets, the Sixers are like playing for next year. Like when they fully build a team around Embiid and Harden and stuff like that, they're like playing for next year rather than playing seriously for this year. So I think they might not have come in with like this, just like all in. Like the Raptors are playing like give it all we got ball. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, wait, hasn't Harden not scored more than 22 in a game this series? He has been bad.
Yeah, I mean, like
I know we talked about it earlier, but he's like bad.
He's still passing well, but that's you definitely need some more scoring. And the like Maxey Harris experience has kind of started to tail off towards the end of the series, where they both started off really well. They're having a little more struggle towards the end of it here.
That's fair. Okay, do we want to move on to sort of Bucks Boston forecasting? I'm this is maybe a silly take, but I kind of thought the Bucks should have tried to like give the Bulls this game tonight so that they could have Chris have like a little more time for Boston. But how do you guys feel about that? Is that the Eastern Conference Finals a round early?
That's the NBA champion coming out of that.
A round early, 2 rounds early, the NBA champion. Okay,
that's a big step. I can't even say. I might not even disagree with that, honestly. Like,
yeah,
it's gonna be a big.
Booker's hurt. Dang. Okay, I don't hate the take. I'm gonna have to sit with that. I mean, if Boston gets past
I don't know if I don't think Eric expected us to agree with it.
If Boston gets past Milwaukee, they're getting out of the East. And then I think they can just shut down that Suns team. There's a lot of recency bias here. I feel like the Suns look so bad. and the Celtics look so good right now.
I
Like,
think the Pelicans just look really good right now.
They're
Okay.
down 3-2.
No, no, but Will said that.
Oh, the Suns look bad, but
I think the
it's
Suns
actually
look bad because it's this close. Like, it could.
I think it's because the Pelicans look better than,
than people thought they would. I can see that.
I think Brandon Ingram is a top 5 player, but we could talk about that later.
Whoa.
That's kidding.
I think Boston is probably going to be favored because of no Middleton,
Mhm.
but
Yeah.
I do
And
have to
home
say,
court.
like, I can't bet against Milwaukee here. Like just think about it. They have the best player in the world.
In the world.
In my opinion. In my opinion, they have the best player in the world.
It's Tatum 2,
Yeah,
though?
What's up?
I said it's Tatum 2, though?
No.
Jokic.
He's top
Don't do
10.
that. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. I don't know. They have the best player
Yeah,
in
that's
the world. Not just in the series. If you have the best player in the series, you got a chance. You got the best player in the world.
Yeah, that's true.
So I think people are maybe not giving the Bucks even without Middleton like enough credit, and their defense has looked really good in the last couple games.
Mhm.
We're about to see like just because of the way the Bucks defense is designed, we're about to see like how good Grant Williams and Derek White can make some open threes. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna get open shots. That's just the way that the Bucks play.
Mhm.
So let's see if they can make them. I am gonna go with the Bucks, but I'm not super confident. I like both teams a lot. I think they're both really good.
I'm taking the Celtics in 5.
In
5.
5,
Giannis only gets 1 game.
I had like Bucks in 7. So like,
Well,
which is in Boston, but they won a game 7 on the road last year.
no.
Hey man, I don't make the rules. That's how the cards are falling, my guy.
He really said 5 games.
5.
Maybe like I didn't think that I had Celtics in 6 and they outperformed my expectation. I think that I was the highest of the Celtics of us in the first round.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
you were.
Absolutely.
And
It's so much.
Eric is just so impressed by what he saw that he's completely on them to wipe the Bucks like that. I can't get with it. And if they get Middleton back, he historically has played really well against
By the
Boston.
time they get Middleton back, it'll be too late.
No,
We'll see.
it'll be down 3-2.
They'll come back and they'll be bringing out the brooms.
What? No, they're not.
Gentleman style, gentleman sweep.
This is
absurd.
crazy
Bucks
for me.
in 6.
Yeah,
Bucks
well,
in
guess
6.
what? Y'all are talking about Toronto coming back from a 3-0 hole, man.
Oh, you're saying Bucks are gonna have to do that?
No, I'm saying that's crazier than what I'm saying.
But they're
No. We're
right
not
now.
talking about them coming back from a 3-0 hole. We're talking about them winning 2 more games.
Yes, exactly.
Which means they would have came back from a 3-0 hole, man.
Right. But at this point, it's just win 2 games.
All I'm saying is Celtics they're fire right now. So
Look, man, I've been riding with the Bucks since the preseason. I'm sticking with them here. I have them by a little bit, by just the hair of hairs.
you might be the jockey, man, but you gotta get a new horse.
Bucks in
That
6.
horse is Boston.
Okay.
Young stallion.
I do agree with your take. I think I agree with your take that whoever wins the series wins it all. But I think it's Bucks.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
What about Mavs Jazz?
Mavs, Jazz.
By the way, hold on. I just want to say we're talking about game 6s. As Jay-Z said, Jackson, Tyson, Jordan, game 6. All of these are game 6s.
Yes.
Suns. Sorry, not Suns. Mavs Jazz game 6 in Utah. Who you got? Donovan Mitchell is probable with a quad contusion.
I saw a list
Wow.
of, I think it was on First Take. Some dude did top 5 point guards of all time, and John Stockton wasn't on the list. That made me really mad.
Just because
Take them out. What's up?
Okay, I follow you now. Okay.
That's
No.
like don't even listen to that guy. He's ESPN's new Skip Bayless. So, like,
He's like,
So just
he's
don't-
like the New
I don't
York.
even want to say his. I don't even want to say his name. Like they're literally putting him on there to say crazy stuff for entertainment value. Like don't pay
But
attention.
is John Stockton a top 5 point guard? I think so.
I can't put praise on John Stockton because of the kind of person that he turned out to be. So
I think
I think he's. You know what? I wish
in the
I
four
would
lines.
I actually wish I was John Stockton, but
I think he said Magic was number one. I can live with that.
yeah, I can live with that too.
Steph Curry is a top 5 point guard of all time. Can we agree?
Yeah, you gotta take
No?
money into account. I
No.
think so.
He's won 3 rings.
He's won 3 rings.
He's never
He's got 2
he's
MVPs.
never been the guy.
He's
Okay,
got 2 MVPs.
he's never been the finals MVP, but
Okay, but they should have given it to him over Iguodala.
yeah.
Okay.
But they didn't. But they didn't.
Iguodala was the LeBron stopper. He gets a ring, or he gets an MVP.
Yeah, he held LeBron to like 39 points a game.
Yeah. 39 and 9 or something.
Most assists all time, most steals of all time.
I mean, I've only said 2 are in my top 5 for sure. I've only said Curry and Magic. Like
Magic, Curry, Oscar.
Yeah.
And you know what? See, it's gonna be hard 100 years from now when, like, you know, they're gonna be talking about like Curry, like the way we talk about like Bob Cousy or like,
He was
you
playing
know what I mean?
he was playing against Milkman and Fireman. Okay, but Bob Cousy literally was like, I saw a video on this yesterday. Like Bob Cousy, first of all, he only shot above league average from the field 3
Once.
times in his career.
Oh, 3 times. Okay, never mind.
Yeah. Second of all, he played on like the only desegregated team in the league,
Oh, wow.
which led to a lot of his like team achievements. You know what I mean? Like championship type stuff.
Oh,
Because he was playing on a desegregated team while other teams were playing segregated ball, right? Like they were playing with like only white players,
Mhm.
right? Which makes Bob Cousy look a lot better than he is. I'm not even saying he's bad, and you know, credit to they're progressive for their time, so credit to them there. But Bob Cousy was playing segregation ball against Milkman and Fireman. I agree with that take to some extent, right? Like,
I totally went off track with this. Shit.
yeah.
Dude, I just
Mavs
hate
or
watching-
Jazz? Who do you have?
I got
I just hate
Mavs.
watching. I hate watching the Jazz, man.
The Mavs, I think they opened as underdogs. The Mavs did somehow.
Well,
I
isn't
kind of
they-
felt like they were like a lock.
Yeah, I kind of feel like they should. I think they're still underdogs 1.5, but yeah, I mean, I don't see how they're not the favorite right now.
I don't think that Utah has any, like, I mean, they played well in game 4. Now you're coming in with a potentially limited Donovan Mitchell.
Mhm.
And I kind of feel like Luka has like dissected your entire game plan at this point.
Mhm.
And I was listening to the Low Post earlier. Luka has the best ISO numbers against centers in the league.
I mean, Luka's just the dude, bro.
Yeah.
Like-
Yeah, like there's nobody on the Jazz starting lineup that he or probably on their whole team that he can't just like take one on one.
He doesn't even look
No.
like he really lost a step with this injury. Like,
No, he looked so good last year.
Well,
He looked
yeah.
so good.
what?
you know, I think it speaks more to how bad the Jazz are, and I think Marco's exactly right. They should actually, you know what? Marco's wrong.
Okay.
They should not only trade Rudy Gobert, they should also trade Donovan Mitchell too.
Wait,
Well,
but I didn't even say that.
You said that Atlanta would want to.
Wasn't my take. I've said this so many times that they will trade Rudy Gobert even though Donovan Mitchell is causing the problem,
Right.
or like at least a large piece of fault for it. I didn't
Exactly.
say that they shouldn't trade Donovan Mitchell. I said that they would trade Rudy Gobert
And
and
I'm
not Donovan
saying
Mitchell.
they should trade both.
Yeah, I didn't make any statement about what they should do, only what I thought they
Oh.
would.
Different Marco then. But
Yeah.
we should they this is pathetic, man. This is so annoying to watch a team. It's literally the Green Bay Packers. I swear. Like I've said it multiple times.
It's a great take. It
Can
really
do
is.
anything they want in the regular season, and then they just suck in the playoffs. Marco, or yeah, the Jazz should have like a garage sale of players and just take anything for them. Like Marco,
like
who would you like? Who would you like to just pick from Utah for the Grizzlies?
for the Grizzlies.
Mike Conley, back John Morant.
No.
You know what? You're a traitor for that, man.
He's washed.
No, he gave us like 12 good years, man. We don't need all this reunion stuff. We got Utah's pick this year. That's like Mike Conley's parting gift to us. Is Utah's worse than expected pick for this season that we got in the Conley deal. I would take
Hassan Whiteside.
Do you want to hear my honest answer?
Yeah, who?
I mean, it's Rudy Gobert.
Oh.
Like, I mean, like, think about it. We can't even play Steven Adams right now. And Jaren Jackson Jr. gets into foul trouble a lot playing center. However, we do have like an option with Jaren at center for like a Gobert-less lineup. So take that out of there. Say you can't do that for salary reasons. Give me Jordan Clarkson. That's the kind of player that
Yep.
So those are my picks. Even Boyan, I'd take. Like they have good players. It's just like this. Like I don't know. There's a lot to say about them. Like we might have to do a post-mortem on them soon. So there's a lot to say about them then. But in terms of the game facing them immediately, I'm not even sure that they want it that bad. You know what I mean?
I think they know that they're not getting past the second round. So.
Yeah, like I've heard it said that they're playing basically for this iteration or era of the Utah Jazz. And like deep down in their hearts, do they want to keep it together and like win and like extend this like run together? I'm not sure that they do. You know what I mean?
It's just sad.
In the back of your mind, if you're a Jazz player, like let's say you lose the game, are you not like, okay, like now on to the next part of my life? You know what I mean? And that's what I'm saying. Like I don't think that they want it bad enough. You know what I mean?
That's fair.
And that's not an insult to them, by the way, because I wouldn't want it if I was on Utah right now.
Oh, I wouldn't want it either. It's
Mavs in 6, man.
Mavs in 6.
Mavs close them out. Is that tomorrow? It's tomorrow. Yeah.
I believe
tomorrow.
Yes.
Couple game 6 tomorrow. I'm hyped.
So
sorry, I'm not gonna lie. I'm gonna be watching the NFL draft. So
you enjoy that. I will be.
I'm gonna be watching every minute of it.
What pick do the Giants have?
5 and 7.
There you go, bro.
Are they gonna get Kayvon Thibodeau?
I don't think Kayvon Thibodeau is gonna be picked in the top 10.
Oh, that's like a departure from what I was hearing during the college football season, where he was like, projected.
His draft stock has just been like declining.
Are they going to get Malik Willis?
I won't speak to anyone if they take a quarterback with either of those. Oh,
so no, not even Desmond Ritter or who's like the.
I like Desmond Ritter a lot. I don't want him in the first round. I don't want him at 5 or 7.
Okay, I don't know anything about that.
I think Desmond Ritter is actually the best quarterback in this class.
Who is the other? There's one more quarterback prospect.
There's Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis, Matt Corral, Desmond Ritter, Sam Howell.
Okay.
Carson Strong.
So I mean, I'm familiar with Matt Corral and Kenny Pickett and Desmond Ritter and Malik Willis, and I definitely am not quite sure their first round quarterbacks. I guess I wasn't sure about. I wasn't completely sure about that. I will say, like, I don't know the most about the NFL draft. Who? Give me your pick right now. Who do the Giants take?
Jeez.
I will hold you to it.
Okay. Gosh. I think it's really dependent on the other picks. It really is because the top players
Give me your maximum likelihood estimation.
maximum likelihood of
MLE.
okay. Oh my god. Okay. Gosh.
I'm
It's
taking it back
that's such
to
a hard question. Okay, I'm gonna
stats
say
100.
maximum likelihood.
Yeah.
Charles Cross, the offensive tackle from Mississippi State at 5, and then at 7, I think we're gonna take
I'm texting this to the group chat just so I have some.
I'm making note of it.
oh my god, this is so dependent. Okay, I'm gonna flip it. I'm gonna go 5 Sauce Gardner and 7 Charles Cross.
Sauce guard. Yeah, I don't know these guys.
Sauce Gardner's the corner out of Cincinnati. But
Charles.
the Jets might take him at 4.
Cross.
The Jets might also take Jermaine Johnson or Kayvon Thibodeau. It's super literally the draft start. Literally everything depends on the first pick. I swear to God. Because if you take Trayvon Walker, then you have Aiden Hutch. What's up?
It's the least like sure draft of like the last like I don't know how many years, but at least last like 5. It's so variable.
Interesting. Well, I don't know. I don't really even like. We don't have a team in Memphis, so it's been hard for me to get into NFL. So I don't know any of. I don't know any of these guys.
The Giants are. This is the future of the next 5 years. If we mess this up, we're going to be a terrible team for the next 5 years.
You're telling me you don't believe in Saquon Barkley anymore?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
Because it's so dependent on the team. As is almost every position basically. So.
Sauce Gardner and Charles Cross. We'll see.
That would be sweet. That would be really cool if we could get that going.
Okay.
Okay. Last topic.
It's not my ideal, but I think it's maximum likelihood.
Got you. MLE. Yeah.
MLE.
All right.
Rap name proposition. Like for me being a stats nerd and also being from Memphis, I'm MLE Choppa.
MLE Choppa. Wow. Holy hell.
I like
That's pretty good, man. I like that. You like it too, Will.
I like it. I like it. It's just
that.
funny. It just was
Kirk Cousins style, man.
Okay. I think that we can make this a last topic.
We're still going?
Oh yeah, I thought we were outro.
Oh, all right. That's it. I mean, okay. Real quick, wrap it. Are the Suns making out of the West still?
Yeah. Oh, out of the West? No.
Yeah.
No.
I saw that Book was eyeing a game 6 or 7 return, so I'm going with yes.
They are making. Okay.
I'm gonna go no.
Yes, but I'm not as confident as I was before, which I was like, I came into the playoffs very confident, and I'm less now.
So to make up for Marco's lack of confidence, I'm just gonna say no.
Okay.
Okay. Fair enough. I think.
How about what do you think?
Yeah, I don't think they do. I think either. I mean, the Warriors, I think, have to have the best odds right now, but like I could see, like it's the Warriors Memphis series. Knock on wood.
I mean, I gotta be biased and stuff like that, but we play the Warriors very well. I have the Grizzlies in that series. I will go down with the ship on this one. Like I admitted that I stuck with my Toronto pick. I didn't say that like they were gonna win the series when they were down 3-0. I said this was not a bad pick. I believed in it. I understand why I picked it. Denver over Golden State. I was just like, I was dumb. I thought maybe Curry's injury would bother him more. I am Serbian and I like Nikola Jokic. And he hasn't lost in the first round yet. You can think whatever about my pick here, but the Grizzlies play the Warriors well. I will go down with the ship on that one. Like I am with the Raptors.
That's fair. Me too. Well, I'm sure we'll have a much more full slate next week as well. This is just getting better and better. Playoffs remain undefeated. Thank you guys.
Thank
Oh,
you.
wait, M?
Yes, sir.
Eric don't get to do it. He's a hater.
He's
No,
a
no,
Wolves.
no.
He's a Wolves guy right now. He can turn it upside down.
All right, until next time.